Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. So, Alec Baldwin was in a NBC interview with, I think it's George Stephanopoulos, and he was asked about the incident and whatnot, and they said that the gun went off, and he's like, yeah, but I didn't pull the trigger. Well, that's quite interesting. You see, over the last few days, I actually was talking with my brother, who is more versed in guns and stuff than I am, and I asked him, what's the difference between a single action and a double action revolver? He showed me a video that clearly went over the differences. A double action revolver, which was not the one used, basically can require you to pull the trigger and the hammer goes back to automatically to fire the weapon. Where a single action revolver requires that you pull that hammer back and then pull the trigger. A single action is what was used in the shooting death of Halyna Hutchins. So in order for that gun to have gone off, accidental discharges are extremely rare when it comes to revolvers, unless that revolver is of poor make. He pulled that weapon, and it's also in the claims of the lawsuits against him, that he pulled that weapon when the scene didn't require it. He pulled that hammer back and he pulled the trigger. Did he mean to shoot anybody? No. That's not the point, though. The point is, he did shoot somebody. With intent or not, he ended a person's life because he was reckless and negligent. He didn't check the weapon when it was handed to him. Any person with common sense knows that the first rule of gun safety: treat every weapon as if it is loaded. Even if they tell you it is safe, you check it. My brother, who is one of the biggest gun people I know, if he was to hand me an unloaded weapon, the first thing I would do, I wouldn't care if he told me it was unloaded. I would check it. That's just common sense. I grew up in an area where hunting is a thing. I did my hunter safety course when I was 13 years old. I learned about firearm safety and whatnot back then. And yeah, the lessons to this day still are a part of my life. Do I own weapons? No, but that's not the point. You can still know how weapons are used and handled. Alec Baldwin had to pull that hammer back and pull the trigger in order for it to fire. Good luck trying to state with any sort of, shall we say, surety, and saying that you didn't pull that trigger, Alec. Because the fact of the matter is, you had to have in order for that gun to go off. The way that I interpret him saying this in an interview is his lawyer gave him advice to say that he didn't pull the trigger. And that's what he's going to, or that's the story that he's going to stick to. Well, that story will not fly with anybody who knows anything about guns. Yes, my knowledge of guns are limited, basic, and whatnot. And I had to go to my brother to actually ask him what the difference between single action and double action is. But I had the common sense to actually go over stuff like that so that I was more prepared for this video. If Alec Baldwin was more prepared and learned about firearms, because we all know that he doesn't like guns, well, he would have known to check that weapon when it was handed it to him, regardless if somebody tells him it's a cold gun. You still bear responsibility because it was put in your hands. Also, you are a producer of the film, Alec. Your responsibilities are to make sure that there are safety meetings and whatnot. You had two weapon discharges and weapons accidents during your movie's filming or production prior to you shooting Halyna Hutchins. Your production should have been shut down. Halyna would have been alive. But no, you cut corners. And because of that, somebody who got fired from a previous job for doing the same damn thing, handing somebody a gun, saying it was cold, and that gun discharging. Well, he did the same thing, and guess what? You are now responsible for the death of Halyna Hutchins. Not just you. I will concede the point that it's not just you who bears full responsibility, but David Halls and the armorer Hannah Gutierrez Reed. No matter how much her father is going to try to cover up for her or try to shift blame away from her. You made the decision to pull that hammer back. You made the decision to point it at the camera. And you made the decision to pull the trigger. And because of your stupidity, a person is now dead and another person is injured. Regardless of whether you knew that weapon was loaded or not, you should have checked it yourself. Gun safety, folks. And Hollywood basically saying, oh, we'll do rubber guns. That's not going to solve the issue. There's going to be more weapons discharges. Maybe not in Hollywood, but gun safety. That should be a requirement. Even if you're going to use rubber guns, you need to learn how to properly use weapons and be responsible. Anyway, folks, that's going to be the video. You all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you think of this interview with Alec Baldwin saying he didn't pull the trigger? Do you believe it? Now, with the knowledge of single and double action revolvers, do you think it was even possible for that gun to go off? Let me know all your thoughts. Folks, this has been Orange Chat Reviews. Stay humble.